If you want to be rich and happy, the first thing you need to do is stop believing popular advice. You know that saying, "Money doesn't buy happiness"? Well, that phrase has kept a lot of people stuck, broke, and full of limiting beliefs. The truth is, the people who say that usually never had enough money to understand the freedom it brings. And more, the happiness that comes from living with purpose, without debt, and with time to do what you love. That's way too valuable to ignore. But the problem isn't just what you were taught, it's what you failed to learn. No one ever showed you that true wealth starts within. That before you earn money, you need to build structure. That success isn't luck, it's construction. And maybe that's why so many people spend their whole lives working hard and never move forward. They work a lot, study poorly, invest wrongly, and keep saying, "One day things will get better." But that day never comes, because they lack what no one teaches: mindset, habits, discipline, and applied knowledge. Now, if you're willing to look inside before chasing what's outside, everything changes. This isn't just another empty motivational piece, it's a map. A path with solid foundations for those who want to rise above average and build a real life. A life with independence, direction, and clarity. And it all starts when you understand what needs to change. And if you have the courage to apply what you're about to learn, get ready, because you can go further than you ever imagined. Personal development as the foundation of success. If you want to change your life, start by changing yourself. Work harder on yourself than on your job. This was one of the most repeated phrases in my life, and for good reason. See, true success isn't out there. It starts within. It's who you become that attracts wealth, happiness, and freedom. The key to financial independence is strengthening who you are, not just chasing what you want to have. Because, my friend, your mind needs to be bigger than your problems. Otherwise, your problems will win. Some people make a lot of money quickly and lose it even faster. Know why? Because they didn't grow enough on the inside to sustain what they gained on the outside. It's like giving a Ferrari to someone who's only ridden a bicycle. That's why whenever someone asked me how to achieve success, I would say, develop your mind, your values, your ability to think clearly. Seek knowledge, strengthen your relationships, and learn to take responsibility. Start with simple steps: meditation, good conversations, daily journaling. Small internal adjustments create big external transformations. Want to grow? Then study, read, get involved with ideas that expand your vision. Books like Outwitting the Devil, The Science of Getting Rich, and Think and Grow Rich taught me more than years of blind trial and error. Learning is like planting. You don't harvest the same day you plant, but if you care for it, the harvest will come. And what does that have to do with money? Everything. A rich mind generates rich actions. And rich actions create rich results. But first, you must become someone who acts with intention, who pursues goals with purpose, and who has the discipline to keep going even when no one is watching. Personal development is also about facing yourself in the mirror and saying, "I can still get better." It's stepping out of your comfort zone and into the truth zone. The truth is, many people live frustrated because they're waiting for the world to change, when it's them who need to change. Does growth hurt? Sometimes. But stagnation hurts more. And when you understand this, you start seeking mentors, investing in knowledge, adjusting your habits. You start seeing life as a training ground. And each day becomes an opportunity to develop your mindset, your attitude, your long-term vision. Everything that happens to you can be an invitation to become better. A challenge at work can be the moment to test your consistency. A family conflict can reveal where you still need to grow. Success is always waiting for someone who decides to be bigger than their circumstances. And when you start becoming that person, the world changes color. You begin to see value where you once saw problems. And suddenly, what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Because, deep down, it all starts with who you decide to become. The importance of discipline and consistent action. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and what you achieve. And if there's one truth few admit, it's this: success is not an event, it's a process. What separates winners from quitters isn't talent, it's consistency. Have you ever heard someone say, "I started so well"? Exactly, starting well is easy. The hard part is continuing even when no one is applauding. Wealth and growth come from simple actions repeated with discipline, even when they seem too small to make a difference. People want big results from occasional efforts. But life doesn't work that way. Look at nature. A tree takes years to grow strong and bear fruit. You don't plant today and harvest tomorrow. Similarly, building your financial independence requires daily habits. Waking up early, saving, investing, studying. Yes, studying. Because discipline is also learning even when you're tired. Reading 10 pages of a good book each day might not seem like much, but in a year you'll have read more than most people who complain about life. Want a simple example? Imagine someone who walks 30 minutes a day. Doesn't seem like much, right? But in a year, that's over 180 hours of movement. Now imagine someone who studies investments, business, human behavior for 30 minutes daily. In a short time, that person becomes a reference. And this, my friend, is the kind of action that creates opportunities. Because the market values those who are consistent, who deliver results, who build value. Discipline builds reputation. And reputation opens doors. Another point, discipline is not a prison. On the contrary, it's the path to freedom. Freedom of time, choice, life. The more organized you are, the more space you have to create. But here's a heads up, discipline will require you to say no many times. No to comfort. No to distraction. No to procrastination disguised as, I'll do it later. And every time you choose right over easy, you strengthen your mindset. You become someone who acts responsibly, who pursues goals even without motivation. And when you combine discipline with consistent action, the game changes. Rewards start appearing. Not explosively, but like a river gaining strength. People around you start to notice. There's something different about you. Your posture changes. Your attitude changes. Your value increases. And then, almost inevitably, success comes knocking. But don't be fooled. It came because you first moved toward it with small, steady steps. And it's precisely along this journey that a new mindset begins to emerge. Positive mindset and proactivity. Life is a mix of how you think and how you react. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the way you see things shapes the reality you live. Some people see problems. Others see opportunities. The difference isn't in the world, it's in the mindset. When you choose to cultivate a positive attitude, you're not ignoring challenges. You're becoming bigger than them. Because those who think clearly act with purpose. And those who act with purpose move forward, even when the winds are against them. Proactivity is the secret of those who don't wait for the world to improve their lives. Some people keep saying, when I have more time, I'll start. But the truth is, those who want it, do it. Those who don't, make excuses. And the difference between those who achieve financial independence and those stuck in the excuse cycle lies exactly there. The proactive person sees every obstacle as a stepping stone. They take responsibility, create solutions, seek knowledge. And they don't wait for motivation, they act without it. You know that story about, just think positive and everything will work out? Forget that. Positive thinking without action is an illusion. But a positive mindset combined with consistent action, now that's transformation. Imagine a salesperson who, instead of complaining about a tough target, decides to study new strategies, improve communication, and learn from the best. That's the kind of attitude that separates survivors from thrivers. Want to grow? Then start by admitting that your future depends on the decisions you make today. It's amazing how everything changes when you choose to see life through different lenses. A problem becomes a lesson. A rejection becomes a redirection. A mistake becomes a disguised mentorship. Life is always speaking to us, but only those trained by positivity can hear. And training starts in the details. How you wake up, the words you use, the stories you tell yourself. Those with a growth mindset know that every day is a chance to grow. And growth isn't luck, it's a choice. And when that positive mindset mixes with proactivity, things start happening. Doors open because you started knocking. The right people show up because you became the right person. What once seemed out of reach now becomes possible. It's at this point you realize, your attitude shapes your results. And if you change the way you think, you can completely change your life. Because when your mind is ready, you are ready to contribute, to serve, and to create value with your work. The value of work and contribution. Work is more than a way to earn money. It's a powerful tool for transformation. I've always believed that when you work with excellence, it doesn't matter what you do. Sweeping a street or leading a team, you are giving the world something of value. And the world responds to that. Success and wealth are natural consequences for those who choose to serve responsibly, to deliver more than they're paid to, and to put their heart into what they do. This is how respect, reputation, and recognition are built. A lot of people want to receive before they offer. They want to harvest before they plant. But life doesn't work that way. Want a good salary? Become indispensable. Want more opportunities? Learn to create value where no one else wants to be. I remember a young man who said to me, "Jim, my job is too small for me." And I said, "Then work so well in that small place that it becomes too big for you." Growth doesn't start with a promotion. It starts with an attitude that contributes, serves, and builds. When you understand the power of contribution, something shifts inside you. You stop working just for the money and start working for a purpose. You ask yourself, how can I improve the life of those who cross my path? How can I leave this place better than I found it? And no, this isn't self-help talk, it's life strategy. Because the market rewards those who solve problems. Those who bring solutions. Those willing to go beyond average. And those who do this inevitably achieve wealth and independence. Serving is an art. And the greatest leaders in the world are great servants. They listen more than they speak, observe more than they opine, and always seek to contribute before demanding. This applies to relationships, business, everything. Know someone who always adds value to conversations, projects, meetings? That person is remembered. And those who are remembered are sought after. Those who are sought after are valued. This is the invisible math of success, where the value you deliver defines the size of the reward you will receive. And the more you give, the more you realize that true satisfaction isn't just in gaining, but in growing and helping others grow too. Lasting success is built this way: working with excellence, contributing generously, and serving with integrity. And when this mindset strengthens, you start seeking more. Not just more money, but more learning, more impact, more legacy. And it's precisely there that the hunger for knowledge is born. Now tell me, after all this, what's still stopping you from taking action? Lack of time, lack of support, lack of luck. Or maybe what's really missing is the decision to change. Because if there's one thing success doesn't tolerate, it's indecision. And if you made it this far, you already know enough to turn the game around. The question now isn't, will it work? But, will you apply it, or will you let another opportunity to grow slip by? The world won't slow down for you to get organized. Bills keep coming, time keeps passing, and those who don't act end up being pushed around by circumstances. So stop postponing your transformation. Start today by reading that book, setting your goals, reviewing your habits. Reflect, what are you doing every day that brings you closer, or pushes you away, from the life you want? The answer is inside you, and so is the responsibility. True independence isn't luck, it's construction. And the most important brick is always the next step. So I invite you, don't be just another spectator. Be the protagonist of your change. Act consistently. Grow with intention. And share this knowledge with those who need it. The more you apply, the clearer everything becomes. And when everything becomes clear, you become unstoppable. If this content made you think, challenged you, or awakened you to something greater, then subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, you'll keep learning everything they